The idea for doing Castle Blood actually just came from a Halloween party. We had just competed at a national costumers competition, and we did a vampire wedding. So we invited all the people that were in the group here for a Halloween party that next year. This town is great for trick-or-treaters being on the main street here, so we had tons of kids, we gave out candy, and then we had our party. So we named it Castle Blood simply because it was full of vampires. The themes for the castle change, the story itself changes each year, but it is an ongoing story. We have one set legend in the backstory of how we ended up in Pennsylvania. We have the ancient vampires that came from Russia that are the actual owners, Alexander and Anastasia and their families. Then in the story, they moved to Scotland eventually, where Gravely and Griselda, the characters that my wife and I usually portray, hooked up with them. It's Gravely and Griselda Macabre from the Clan Macabre. And there's different families from that were part of it. And then when we came to the New World, a few more got picked up here and there. The ideas from that come from all over because we are so many of us horror and science fiction geeks. We're relatively well read, and we can, comb lots of different memories for ideas or old movies or things like that. It's like, okay, I don't really think anybody's done a frozen ice cave scene before, maybe we could do something like that, and what would be cool to happen in that. And those kind of brainstorming ideas happen all the time, and sadly about 95% of the ideas don't get used. They get put in a file, and maybe someday we can use them. But everything has to mesh, has to work right. We need 3 or 4 different things every year, so they all have to work together. So the idea part is easy and hard at the same time. It's easy to come up with them, hard to figure out what actually to use. Castle Blood's gone through a lot of changes over the years. We decided to go, pro as far as charging admission. We stayed with the trick-or-treat theme for a couple of years, and then we decided, we're filling out all our property so much, we need to start charging a couple of bucks because it's just killing us money-wise. So that was the first big leap. And then I guess in the 4th year was when we changed to, instead of just a walking through, which we've never really been much of a run through and get scared. We always had all these actors that were here doing magic, and I guess in the 4th year we changed it so that there was an actual structured game and tour through it. And then that has changed over the years as we've added different scenes and taken scenes away. We try to always have something fresh every year. The decision to run it here where we actually live, which is very surprising to a lot of people while they're waiting in line going, man, can you imagine having to live here? And I go, yes, actually I can, was convenience. This is how do I phrase it? An unintentional non-for-profit organization here. We do have to run it like a legitimate business, but we don't really actually try to make money. We run it like community theater, and we pour all the money back into it, and we do support a lot of local charities. So the reason to keep it at the house is basically, if I get up in the morning and it's a nice day, I can walk out my back door and build something. I think the thing that sets the castle apart from other attractions is that it is a game and it truly is interactive. I personally don't believe that if a monster jumps out and says boo and you scream, I don't find that to be actually interactive. When you come into a scene and there's a witch there and she asks you a question and you answer, and that changes how she has to deal with you, and the public is changing what goes on inside a particular scene, that is interactive. So we are definitely an acquired taste. You don't just run through screaming from a chainsaw. But that is, the people that come here and like it are very, very devoted to us and come all the time, and that is what sets us apart. The things that I really enjoy about doing the castle is that no matter how nerve-wracking, tiring, expensive, and everything else it can be, it is really a creative playground here. If we get an idea that we like, we can figure it out. You just tax your brain to, how can we write the script to make this work? How can we juggle what budget we do have to make this work and to build something special? And what can we do that's new and unique that nobody's ever seen or thought of before? And those are really the most fun parts of the castle itself. Obviously, the best part is the interaction with the cast members and all of us. So many of actually our family or lifelong friends, or have turned into new lifelong friends because of this.